Okay, so,
Elon Musk with Donald Trump.
right.
It's
It's not. It's not an alternate reality.
this is the 2024 election.
Yeah.
October 5th, Butler, Pennsylvania.
Musk makes his first ever appearance at a Trump rally.
And it's not just any rally, it's at the very place where the assassination attempt on Trump happened back in July.
Yeah.
So we are diving into this unusual alliance, unpacking what it reveals about the relationship between these two, the strategies at play in the upcoming election, and what it might mean for the future.
Yeah, it's certainly a moment that has captivated the nation's attention.
To say the least. You have this tech billionaire known for pushing boundaries, aligning himself with the former president, known for a very particular leadership style.
What's intriguing is that despite their seemingly different styles, they've been cultivating a rapport for a while now. Remember their 2-hour conversation on X back in August, covering everything from the assassination attempt to government regulations.
Ah, yes, the infamous X conversation. It's easy to get caught up in the spectacle of it all, but this definitely runs deeper than just a headline-grabbing moment. Musk even went as far as telling the crowd this could be America's last election if Trump loses.
Yeah, framing the election as potentially America's last is a powerful rhetorical tactic. Tapping into pre-existing anxieties among some voters about the direction of the country. We've seen similar rhetoric employed in past elections to galvanize support and foster a sense of urgency.
And the language itself. Dark MAGA, the constant urging to get everyone to vote, almost like a countdown is happening. It all feeds into this atmosphere of urgency and high stakes.
It does. This U.S. versus them mentality isn't new to political discourse. It's a recurring theme throughout history. Used to create a sense of solidarity and purpose among supporters.
It's almost as if this election is being presented as the only thing that matters, which makes it even more important to consider what this alliance signifies. It's not just about shared appearances. Musk is becoming a political force, especially with the pro-Trump super PAC he created. For those unfamiliar, a super PAC can raise unlimited sums of money from corporations, unions, and individuals, but can't contribute directly to or coordinate with political candidates.
And that's a significant development. It shows a willingness to put considerable resources behind his beliefs, and those beliefs, as we're seeing, increasingly align with Trump's. For example, their shared stance on free speech, which has been a major talking point for both.
Especially with Musk's takeover of X, which he's framed around this idea of protecting free speech, even if it means allowing for viewpoints many find objectionable.
Precisely. And that resonates with this segment of Trump's base, who perceive attempts to moderate content as censorship and an effort to silence conservative voices.
Speaking of reaching voters, the choice of location for this rally, Butler, Pennsylvania, adds another layer of complexity to this alliance.
Holding the rally in Butler, where the attempt on Trump's life occurred, allows Trump to project resilience, positioning himself as someone who has faced danger head-on and come out stronger.
And it's impossible to ignore the tragic aspect of that event. Corey Compertor, a Trump supporter, lost his life in that attack. Trump made sure to acknowledge that during his speech, recounting a conversation he had with Compertor's family and referring to him as having the best seat in the House.
In the presence of Compertor's family, as well as first responders to the July attack, transforms the event. It becomes more than a political rally. It becomes a site of mourning, of remembrance, and for some, I'm sure, a rallying cry.
This really drives home the weight of the situation, not just for those on that stage, but for the voters they're trying to reach. It's a stark reminder of the real-world consequences of political polarization and the very real dangers faced by public figures. Now, let's shift gears a bit and delve into Musk's appeal to Trump's base and why this alliance resonates with them.
Musk has cultivated this image, particularly online, as a disruptor, someone who challenges the status quo, that resonates with people who feel like the system isn't working for them, who are looking for someone to shake things up.
And he's certainly not afraid to be provocative, to say what's on his mind, even if it ruffles feathers, which, if we're being honest, is another trait he and Trump seem to share.
Indeed, and that willingness to court controversy, to push boundaries, can be very effective in mobilizing a base. Especially in today's fractured media landscape, people are more likely to exist in echo chambers, consuming information that confirms their existing beliefs.
And that's where Musk's ownership of X becomes even more significant, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's not just that he has a platform to express his own views, but that he has the power to shape the information flow for millions of users.
He's essentially created this digital town square where certain narratives, certain viewpoints can be amplified and disseminated far and wide. What effect do you think this has on the political landscape, especially when it comes to elections?
It's a powerful tool for any political campaign, especially one like Trump's, that thrives on generating enthusiasm and rallying support. And it adds another layer of complexity when you consider Trump's claims about previous elections.
Right. He's consistently claimed that previous elections were stolen from him and has been warning his supporters to stop the steal. How does this partnership play into potential challenges after the election, particularly if things don't go his way?
That's the million-dollar question we've already seen, how effectively misinformation and unfounded claims can spread online, particularly among groups primed to believe them.
And both Trump and Musk have expressed skepticism about the integrity of voting systems, haven't they?
They have, and that shared skepticism, whether justified or not, could be used to fuel further distrust in the electoral process.
So we have a potent mix of factors at play here. A deeply divided electorate, a former president who has shown a willingness to challenge election results, a tech billionaire with enormous reach and influence, and a constant drumbeat of warnings about the fragility of American democracy.
And we need to remember, this isn't just about one election. The implications of this alliance, this convergence of personalities and platforms, could extend far beyond November.
Okay, so we've talked about the rally, the speeches, the symbolism of it all, but what does it all mean? What are your thoughts?
On one level, it's about two powerful figures recognizing an opportunity to leverage each other's strengths. Trump needs Musk's platform and his appeal to a certain segment of voters. Musk, in turn, gets to further insert himself into the political arena to promote his vision for the future.
It's like a mutually beneficial alliance, at least in the short term. But what about the long-term implications? They seem much harder to predict.
They really are. What happens if Trump loses? Will this alliance continue? What role will Musk play in shaping the Republican Party moving forward?
And what does it mean for the future of American democracy if more and more tech billionaires decide to throw their weight behind political candidates or causes?
It's a question worth considering. We're witnessing a shift in the balance of power, not just in politics, but in society as a whole.
It's like we're seeing the lines between technology, media, and politics becoming increasingly blurred right before our eyes.
And that blurring raises some fundamental questions about who gets to shape our future, who gets to decide what information we consume.
It's a lot to unpack, that's for sure. This Musk-Trump alliance isn't just about two individuals. It's about these larger forces that are reshaping our world in ways we're only beginning to understand.
It truly highlights the complexities of our current political climate, where traditional alliances are shifting. Technology is playing an increasingly influential role, and the stakes for our democracy feel incredibly high.
It's certainly not business as usual. What can people do to better understand these shifts and their potential consequences?
It all comes down to staying informed, critically evaluating the information we encounter, and engaging in thoughtful dialogue about the future we want to create.
Because at the end of the day, it's not just about who wins or loses an election. It's about the kind of society we want to live in.
Well said. That's something we should all be thinking about, regardless of where we land on the political spectrum.
Absolutely. As we watch this alliance between Elon Musk and Donald Trump continue to unfold, the biggest question that lingers is this: how will their vision for America, their vision for the future, resonate with the American people? Only time will tell.
And in the ballot box.
This has been an incredibly insightful deep dive. We've just scratched the surface here, and the story is far from over.
I think you're right about that.
To our listeners, we encourage you to keep asking those tough questions, keep seeking out diverse perspectives, and most importantly, keep learning until next time.